thing right now.
Rise and shine, it's a beautiful day.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to white lights.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
It's crazy evil.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. This is the Morning Dump. I am your host, Jose Galison. What is today? It's the 9th. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. That's right. Yeah, we got already dead tonight. I've gone for a run today. Didn't work out. Took a little day off. Gave the muscles a rest, but went for a run. Boy, I was fast as fuck. But yeah, good to be with you guys. Hope you guys have done something productive with your morning. If not, we're about to. We have some stuff to go through. You have a double dose of breaking news today. We have the Trump doodling a diddling, which I guess you could say it's breaking. That was pretty late last night. This stuff dropped, so I'd surmise not a whole lot of people have covered this aside from perhaps like the I don't know, the people who like this is what they do all the time, every time. Like they're breaking news. So like breaking points or whatever. Some of those people may have covered, but I'm gonna be in the forefront of this, and with my particular little flavor. Because, I mean, who the fuck else there is doing a morning show on the reg like this and covering the type of content I am? But we also have breaking, a little bit of a bummer, but we have bombs going on over in Qatar. They're bombing Qatar. Apparently they attacked some Hamas leadership there, which is kind of a wild provocation given a lot of things going on, which I'll do a little bit better job of explaining that later when we get to our foreign policy portion. Also got some new documents that have dropped on Patriot front that once again, still show what the previous documents in the past have shown that, hey, I think they got some fucking informants in there. Why is everyone so fucking, there's no fucking informants in the Patriot front? Yeah, there's probably some informants there. That shit glows. I don't know. I don't know why everyone really wants so hard there to be some weird, authentic, right-wing white movement that is doing these sorts of things. I don't know, whatever. I mean, it's fine. What? I get it. I understand. You're like, no, the whiteys. But I mean, at the end of the day, you can be upset about it. But here are the documents. Shit glows. And then we'll kind of go into more a little bit how we're all falling for it again. Not we, but they. Who even is they? It's an ever-shrinking, dwindling number of people. But whoever they is falling for it again. And the whole recurring cast of the baddies from the previous administration has returned, pretending to be your new nice overlords, when in fact they're the same overlords as before. And this is the silly game they play, this theater. We'll talk about all this and more. Before we get into the foreign policy portion, before we say our good mornings for today, let's play a little video. I got this saved up. I had a couple of you guys tag me, so I haven't watched it just so we could enjoy it together. I don't know. I have no idea if there's anything substantive here, but just judging by the, just what the captions or whatever, it is a black and a Jew talking about reparations. So I don't know. Should at least be entertaining at the very least. So there's Charlemagne and Ben Shapiro talking about reparations. So let's see what they got to say about that. Actually, I don't think I have. Give me a second. Make sure I have it set up. I'm an idiot. I need to start remembering to go back and make sure I have the thing up, because since StreamYard changed the way it does it. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and play this.
I think that on a sort of public policy level, reparative policies don't tend to be nearly as effective as people want them to be, historically speaking.
And what would you with people?
In what way?
Jewish people have received reparations.
You mean Holocaust reparations, for example, from Germany? So I think that first of all, that there was like a gigantic fight actually in Israel over whether Holocaust survivors should accept reparations from Germany, because the idea was that it's allowing them to expiate their sins of the past, and they shouldn't be allowed to expiate those sins, and it's allowing them to sort of buy off the history for 50 grand or whatever it is. But that has become successful economically. Like just
I don't know who's hating on the camera, but something about the timing of zooming in on him there is just funny. Let's go.
Success level. The reality is that cutting people checks rarely makes them more successful from the government. What usually makes people more successful is a determined attempt to become the things that the meritocracy demands of you. Right. So there were no long scale.
Think the U.S. foreign assistance for Israel has helped financially.
Well, I mean, the U.S. foreign assistance for Israel actually is
Okay, all right. I see why you guys why I got tagged this, because it's obviously he's taking a little bit of a turn. He's going from reparations to like. Because obviously then Ben kind of goes into, I guess there were some sort of specific reparations from the Germans, although they got fucking fleeced in the post-World War II, so I don't even want to try to look at what kind of reparations they had. But apparently they received some sort of reparations, the Jews, which, I mean, for those, I mean, I don't know, I've not talked a ton about reparations. I'm technically pro-reparations in the sense that, like, but assuming you have a case on an individual basis, like, that's just because I've read a theory on property rights, and so I do believe in a functioning society you should have a system of reparations if you are able to somehow track, because all reparations is just a property claim that extends past like a generation of some sort that you're supposed to be requesting compensation for because you have a legitimate property claim of something. Like your grandpa's farm got stolen by some dastardly fiend a generation ago, and now that farm's passed hands a generation later. It's still your family's farm, so you by rights have, like, you know, let's say they sold that farm or whatever, or it's 2 generations later and there's still the proceeds from that thing or whatever. Like, yeah, you are entitled, the grandchildren of so and so's, if you are able to, you know, somehow you are able to get an attorney, they're able to track the legitimate property claims over the generations, and then maybe even account for like inflation and such and whatever. Yeah, these are the sorts of things. But the problem is, you guys kind of see what I'm getting at here already. Like, between these two people here, at least given today in the modern world, do either of these, a black or a Jew, under the current situation, are these people entitled to any sort of reparations from the United States, whatever the fuck? And even then, too, the other thing is, like, there's, like, this weird thing with reparations that it's baked into it, like, it should just be like, oh, well, now we all owe everyone this, so now we're going to just take this from the government, and then therefore this. Like, no, maybe, I guess, with, like, whole races or something, if you were trying to implement it, you could, I don't know, it does get murky. But my point being is, though, if it does get too murky, then you don't have a legitimate claim. I mean, it is a bummer. If you're trying to track a property claim across 7 generations, yeah, you're going to have a harder time making that case. It's probably going to take a lot of time and money and effort, and then a lot of people just go, it's not worth it. Because it's probably not. Because at that point, you're probably talking maybe, $50? Because great-great-great-great-great-grandpappy had a rough life, like, or whatever it is. And even then it gets even further, like, say with Charlemagne, like, where did it even come from? For all I know, his parents, maybe they were French, and they just happened to be Africans who lived in France. So it's like, okay, then why would you get any reparations? So yeah, it's obviously a little bit more complicated than that. But yeah, so the idea of property claims going past generations, sure. But okay, whatever. I just want to throw that out there so you guys are aware. So I do think that's so. To Ben's point, I do think, like, you know, obviously I know, haha, cue the Holocaust joke. But if you assuming you buy the standard boilerplate, what happened there? Then yeah, I mean, these people, there are a lot of people that dealt with horrors that are entitled to compensation. Because there are people who did those things to them, and those people have things. So, I mean, that was pretty simple. So I mean, instead of like murdering people at Nuremberg, really these people should have been put to work to literally everything of theirs taken and been provided to their victims, and maybe forced to work out the rest of their life in some way, providing value that can go towards the people they did it. So, which is a little bit of an indictment of our justice system, the idea that it's based on punishment as opposed to compensation. So, like, even in the case of murder, like you're like, yeah, that is I mean, I know this is a little bit cold way to look at it, but those are like, if I was killed, like, or if my wife was killed or whatever, like, that's taking food out of my children's mouths. Like, otherwise I would have been a productive, I've been doing things. So yeah, like, if I do think if someone murders me, they should have to basically the rest of their life provide value for my family because they prevented my ability to do so. So yeah, the idea that like they should have to pay with their lives for murdering me? Yes, but with blood? No. What does that do for me? Absolutely fucking nothing. But anyways, I'll get off my soapbox on the criminal justice system, but it's a fun little deep dive if you do get into like anarchist or libertarian theory, when you get into compensation-based justice systems as opposed to punishment-based ones, which really, if you think about it, it's pretty barbaric to have a punishment-based system. So, but let's keep going.
Bargain for the United States because Israel doesn't need the money. I've said this before.
Well,
Israel,
give it to us.
I mean,
we'll take it.
That's fine.
The black community would gladly take it.
That's in it.
I can't speak for everybody.
It's like $3 billion a year. We should point out at this point that we spend, I think, $6 billion a year on our military bases in Japan, $5 billion a year on our military bases in Germany. We spend an awful...
I mean, those are different things. Like he said, on our military bases in these areas. You see what the bake is... That's a very different thing. If you have your own military base where your own military members are at and you're spending money on it and you're spending billions of dollars, that's a very different thing than giving, say, the same amount of money to a foreign country to do with as they please. Because obviously one's going to you. I mean, I guess you can make the case that, well, it's stationed in Japan. Okay, they're providing some sort of economic stimulation in the area or whatever. But generally speaking, let's be real, like... I don't know. I guess I do like maybe, especially if it's a NATO country or something. But for the most part, it's not. At the very least, it's probably a neutral economic thing. So to like be like, oh, our base is here. He's already playing Jew tricks right off the jump.
A lot of money that helps an awful lot of other countries. Israel has to spend all of that money, by the way, in the United States on military products. So all.
Oh, it makes it better because they have to spend that money on military products through us. Which, like, okay, whatever. Which, frankly, most of the time, as we've covered the show, they say that, but then half the time, then you look on the back end and they go, oh, look, this weapons deal. And you're like, it wasn't really a weapons deal, or it was only 50% a weapons deal, and it was covered from, like, military aid here and there. So, yeah.
All the money that we send to it, we actually don't send money to Israel. We send military product to Israel that is made in the United States. And so it actually is a subsidy to the American defense industry. And there is a deal with Israel where Israel does intelligence sharing and also develops its own tech and can't disseminate it to the world. So, for example, the helmets that our F-35 pilots use, those are Israeli-developed helmets, like that we can see over the horizon, for example. That's because Israel developed technological add-ons. So the idea that this is sort of like a zero-sum, the money goes out, we get nothing back, that's actually not.
It's 100% true. All right, let's go through. I don't really have much more to say on this one. Whatever. Fun to laugh at. Let's go through chat. Say our good mornings. Check in. Good morning, Knife Safety. He said good morning. The man who hold high places must be the one who start. I don't know what the hell that means. It's very cryptic. Did you just like trigger was that my MK Ultra phase? I don't know. Good morning, phrase, not phase. Sorry, my list came out. Good morning, King David. Good morning. He said, hit the like button. Let's help Jose's channel. Yes, please do. Please help the brother out. Good morning, Comment Mama. Good morning, Tommy. Good morning, Rise and Shine. It's a beautiful day. Good morning, Eddie Grimm. Good morning, Noname. Good morning, Tucker Delay. Good morning, John Black. Good morning, Adrian Bodie. He says the president is a Zogbot pedo. He sure is. Good morning, Michael S. What's up, Big Dumper and the Dumplings? Oh, thank you. And or are we going with Hispanicans? I think that's a sleeper. That one might win out. I like it a lot. Good morning, Alien Big Cat 23. King David wanted to tell me that have that lady on again you had on last night's show. She was amazing. Loved her knowledge from only 2 years of research. Yeah, she's great. I really enjoyed my conversation with her. I'd be definitely open to having her on again at some point. By the way, for those who, I guess I didn't announce it, or I don't know why anyone knows, I did make that a playlist, despite the fact it's only one episode and I don't plan on necessarily doing more, but I just wanted to have somewhere to, like, people can easily find it, because I did think it was a really good episode, and I had never done a Gladio episode, And I was like, who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll go like do episodes on like specific Gladio units in specific areas, and so I can keep adding to that playlist. But either way, that was the first one. For those who haven't checked it out, that was called Gladio 101. Or Operation Gladio 101 with Colonel Towner Watkins, I think. I really enjoyed it. We did almost 2 hours just going into really like what Operation Gladio was to begin with, like the actual operation, what it means now, like colloquially, kind of the different evolutions of it through the eras, how it looks now. So we kind of went through the gambit, and I think we did a really good one with that. So good morning, Mike Myrtle, saying I knew I'd like that one. I'm assuming it means you're responsible. Thank you, buddy. Just a reminder, you guys can tag me and stuff, and that helps the show keep on going. I mean, if you're poor out there and you want to help out the show, hey, if you just see stuff you like fucking around on your phone and you go, wow, there's a cool story, just take a moment. If you're on Twitter, go @TowerGangJose, tag me, and then boom, you're contributing to the show. You can just be a poor doing almost nothing, and you're helping the show because you're my eyes and ears out there, my little birdies or whatever it is, the creepy thing they call them in not Lord of the Rings, and was it Game of Thrones? Yeah, I don't remember what they called them. Anyways, good morning, Clips Collective. He says, these nerds, I deserve reparations for having to hear Shapiro speak, for sure. Good morning, Fire Pixie. Good morning, Aggressively Agreeing. Adrian Brody says, I'm pro reparations only for the comedy that will ensue, for sure, yeah. Good morning, Psycho Mantis 65. That is a fun one. So he says, I deserve manlet reparations. And then he goes, every time I try to pay for something, I come up short. That's a pretty good one. Mike threw off your flow by jumping in between it, but that was a good one. Good morning, Black Eye. Good morning. Morning, Doctori. Who else we got here? What else we got? Anyone else sneak in the last minute? Good morning. I think we may have got all our mornings in. Oh, here's Nevsky. Ooh, thank Nevsky. I think he found us a sweet outro. Today we have kittens and babies. You wouldn't fucking believe it. We have a kitten and baby outro, so you're going to stick around for that. And if you're watching on audio, sorry, you're just going to get some like beautiful Sarah McLachlan music or whatever the hell it is. Sorry, just know what you're missing out on Rumble and YouTube. You could be looking at babies and kitties. Nevsky says, truce the plan. Can't fool me. I'm Hispanican. Dude, that was pretty good. That's a pretty good one. Good morning, everybody. It's good to be with you all. All right, let's get into the fucked up shit. Let's get into foreign policy. Like I said, we do have some real fucking breaking news, like for real, like within an hour or so, like big shit. I was kind of like confused how I wanted to cover things today, because there's almost like some of the stories that we're going to go into, I feel like I almost should have like primed this one with that, but this is breaking. But I think you'll kind of see why. I was like, there's some other ones I almost wanted to front load this story with. But because it's like a situational what's going on at this very moment. Like you got to think the way anti-war reporting usually goes, because I collect a lot of these from antiwar.com, it's usually like the night before. So there was a lot of stuff going on yesterday, and I think some of that plays into what happened today, which is what we're looking at right now, which is live. Israel targets Hamas leadership in attack on Qatar's Doha, which anyone who knows, I know we've got this. I've tried to impress on this to you guys a lot. I know maybe in the United States people have a false conception of what Qatar is like, or that's like, but it's pretty, from my understanding, like I said, when I was deployed there, I never went off the base just because I didn't care, but I knew plenty of people said it was pretty, that liked to go regularly. They said they would go, girls would go to the beach in their bikinis. Not that I'm like really someone who's like, stumps upon that, but my point being is it was a very Americanized region. It was not that makes it better or not, but it's just very bizarre. This is also a center of diplomacy in a lot of ways in that area. We have major military bases. There's a lot going on here. So this is pretty, and they're a major ally for us. I know we have this stupid, you're getting paid by Qatar nonsense that goes around, which has just been laughable from the start. But this is really bizarre. It almost makes you like, have they been reading the fucking, like, have they been like had this in their mind, like, have they been playing this from the jump? Is that what the narrative thing was? Because now this is seated in people's head where it's not that big of a deal. But this is a big deal. This is weird. This is wild shit. dropping bombs in Qatar, in Doha. Which I guess I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, telling you where the future stories. But from my understanding, some of these people are literally negotiators that supposedly that were here. People that Trump recently had given one of the proposals to, a major proposal that looked like it was probably getting ready to go through, a proposal that looked like it was basically a damn near complete surrender, essentially, from Hamas, whatever you want to call that. Let's be real, all the previous iterations kind of were too. They're just varying degrees of it. This is just like, we'll get into this in a bit, but a kind of a crazy degree. And it seemingly seemed like Hamas was going for it, and then this happens. So it's kind of like, oh, wow, isn't that interesting? Also, we're getting reporting that we were aware of it, according to Israeli officials. So I guess we can kind of go through, maybe we're over here on Al Jazeera, so it's kind of doing the breaking news type thing. Let me see, got a lot of different ones, so bear with me as I try to cover it. We had about 2 hours ago, Hamas meeting targeted while discussing Gaza ceasefire deal proposal. A senior Hamas source has told Al Jazeera that leaders of the group have been targeted in Doha while discussing U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza. And then furthermore, it says Israeli military confirms attack in Doha, says target was Hamas leaders. So Israel confirms it. So Israeli military confirmed that its cooperation with Israel's domestic security agency, Shin Bet, its air force has carried out an assassination attempt on top Hamas leaders in the Qatari capital. Claimed the unnamed Hamas members who were attacked led the organization's activities for years, adding they will continue to act to defeat the Hamas terrorist organization. This attack comes days after Israeli Army Chief Eyal Zamir threatened to assassinate Hamas leaders living abroad, and hours after Foreign Minister Gideon Saar said Israel has accepted a Gaza ceasefire proposal offered by... Holy shit. I didn't realize so that's news too, I guess, I don't know if that would have been included in today's, but apparently the rumors were that Israel had supposedly accepted it as well. So that's kind of a big deal if true. So I don't know, maybe more on that in a bit. If Israel literally had already accepted a ceasefire, this is supposedly the one that the United States proffered. Hamas would have accepted it as well. So all parties have accepted, and then still this, with the individuals discussing this very thing, supposedly. So obviously this is all still very early reporting. Attack comes as Hamas delegation was meeting to consider recent U.S. proposal. So just more on that, more updates. Qatar slams cowardly Israeli attack on Hamas in Doha. So here's a spokesperson for Qatar sent a statement that the country condemns in the strongest terms the attack, which he said was carried out in residential buildings housing several members of the Hamas political bureau. So this is residential buildings in Doha, Qatar, which I just really can't stress enough how, this is kind of like saying, oh yeah, there were, Ukrainian officials in Paris, and they fucking, maybe not Paris, maybe that's not the greatest example, but kind of like a first world-ish area, and you're like, yep, they just fucking drone bombed the residential area there. You're like, what the fuck? That's what we're talking about here. This criminal attack constitutes a flagrant violation of all international laws and norms and a serious threat to the security and safety of Qataris and residents of Qatar. So targeted site in Doha, very close to residential buildings, is a follow-up report. So apparently the report said the site was targeted by Israel in Doha and it is in a residential neighborhood, not an isolated area. It said their priority is secure the scene and locate. All right, there's what more updates we have. Here's some what looks like a video. You can see some. Let's watch this. This is just insane, especially when you pair this with the main story of today after the foreign policy stuff here. It's just fucking nuts. Like, it's just, with we'll get into the Trump Diddling thing, but that story, for those who aren't aware, apparently the how do I put this? The apparently the Epstein estate released a bunch of the stuff from like the book and stuff from a subpoena, I guess. I think that was one of the motions I want to say Kana and Massey were able to get through or something, and so I guess it's producing fruit now or something, which we'll get into that more, but it's just one of those ones just sitting out more, and the more you sit, you're like, holy fuck, it's even worse than you thought, and we'll get into that. It's just, I don't know. I mean, people who are just trusting the plan, I'm gonna be honest. I'm genuinely fucking interested to see like the entire spate of coverage that's about to come out. Tonight probably of last night's news on Trump particularly. I mean, no one's gonna cover probably this foreign policy stuff like we are hardly. But even still, but pairing these two together, you're like, Jesus Christ. All right, let's keep going. What else we got on this? We got. So there's just video showing smoke there. Israel launches. Okay, anything else? What we know so far. Israeli army. Okay, we have I'm looking for the confirmation real quick. Israel bombed 6 Arab countries over past month is one of the updates. That was a pretty good little update there. So that is true. We'll get into a few of those today. U.S. declines to comment on Doha attack. Now we're getting into some actual substantive new news. White House Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly has told Al Jazeera that there is no comment from the U.S. administration this time on Israeli strikes in Doha. They are obviously still watching this to see how it develops. The U.S. president is likely to be the first to comment on his Truth Social platform, which I guess for those out there, if any of you guys are truthers or whatever, or if you're on, or if you just find it on Twitter, I wouldn't be surprised. I probably won't I have enough other things to cover. I wouldn't be surprised if he does drop something soon. So if you guys see that out there in the wild, feel free to let me know in the chat, and I'll bring it up. But I'm a little bit predisposed. I won't be able to look for that in the meantime. But you guys be my eyes and ears. I mean, I guess if it's still while I'm on this, it would be. But anyways, no comment that time. U.S. Embassy in Doha issues shelter-in-place order for staff. In the first U.S. comment on the attack, the U.S. Embassy in Doha says it's seen reports of missile strikes occurring. The U.S. Embassy has instituted a shelter in place, so they've still got it. This is an hour ago. They actually about I think 35 minutes ago or so, actually. So there's still more corroborating, more sources saying, yeah, they were discussing the proposal. Israeli finance minister calls Doha attack the correct decision. Who would have thought Smotrich thought this was a good idea? Says terrorists have no and will have no immunity from the long arm of Israel anywhere in the world, Smotrich said in a social media post. Then we have a full statement of Qatar's condemnation. The state of Qatar strongly condemns the cowardly Israeli attack that targeted residential buildings housing several members of the political bureau of Hamas in the Qatari capital, Doha. The criminal assault constitutes a blatant violation of all international laws and norms, imposes a serious threat to the security and safety of Qataris and residents in Qatar. The ministry affirms the security forces, civil defense, and relevant authorities immediately began addressing the incident and taking necessary measures to contain its repercussions and ensure the safety of the residents in surrounding areas. While the state of Qatar strongly condemns the assault, it confirms it will not tolerate this reckless Israeli behavior and the ongoing disruption of regional security, nor any act that targets security and sovereignty. Investigations are underway at the highest level, and further details will be announced as soon as they are available. This is also even from a diplomacy standard. They've done stuff like this with other Middle Eastern countries in the past. I think they've attacked people within Iran and stuff, but it's just getting to a point where it's just we're going to get into today some of the, international repercussions. Just to be doing this to Qatar, I know they've concocted this nonsensical perception of it over here in the West, but I think that a lot of the world, especially the diplomatic actors out there, they realize what Qatar is. A lot of people interact with them. It is a area of commerce, in that region. They're fucking themselves over here. I mean, I don't know how long you can play this bully game before enough people just get sick of it. Iran calls Israeli strike a violation of international law. I mean, that's not surprising. Israeli opposition leader calls attack exceptional operation. So Israel takes full responsibility for Doha attack. That's from Netanyahu. So he said today's action against top terrorist chieftains of Hamas was a wholly independent Israeli operation. Israel initiated it, Israel conducted it, and Israel takes full responsibility, is what he had to say. And then let me see, find it. Sorry, a lot going on at once. Situation is safe an hour ago, is what they've said. So I guess it's not ongoing still. Supposedly, it's over in Qatar. This is their reports. Now here we go. Now we have regional U.S. military officials say they were not made aware of Israeli strike. Now we're going to put a little doubt on that, but either way, it's kind of not a good thing either way. Because if they weren't made aware, it's kind of like, holy shit, Israel's just doing that without making you aware. If you were aware, they're like, now you're a party to it. So not much better. Either way, though, so American military sources within the region just told me, this is from Hamda Salhout, some reporter there, that they were not aware of this attack and they were only notified after. And they said they cannot speak to whether or not the White House was informed. So, I mean, obviously that's just one anecdotal example. Let me see. Saudi Arabia warns of grave consequences from Israel's persistence in criminal transgression, which it was kind of the point I was getting at. This international diplomacy. Saudi Arabia is an international character or actor that Israel does not want to destroy the relationship with, nor do we. So it's like, yeah, so they said this brutal Israeli aggression, the flagrant violation of the sovereignty of the sisterly state of Qatar, which they're right. Still no comment from the White House 52 minutes ago. Still nothing from Trump. So just more reporting about lack of that. So more photos. Here's some photos of the building blown out. So you can kind of see what we're talking about here. Yeah, it does kind of look like a sort of residential-ish. I don't know. I guess that could be some sort of event building of some sort. I don't know. It kind of looks like something that would house people, but I don't know. That's a damaged building there. It's just more smoke coming up elsewhere. All right. How is the world reacting to Israeli attacks? UN Secretary General called the air raids a flagrant general. Kuwait's chimed in. So then we've had Jordan upset about it, Iraq upset about it, the Maldives. I mean, this is all still early, though. So... and I swear there was something, I'm trying to find the thing, there was something Israeli officials, I swear that, here's Katz, which one is he? The defense minister, I think. If I recall correctly, defense minister Israel Katz said this was justified, which it's not. So, all right, let's keep going. What else we got? I swear there was a report that said there was one report earlier that said that we were aware of it, but I guess that's not what we're seeing right now. So we'll keep an eye out if you guys catch anything on that. I mean, I have a hard time believing they wouldn't be made aware, but we'll find out. So all right, let's get into more of the foreign policy. It's just this is on the ground stuff that's happening right now. This right here, I did see this 2 hours ago, but I mean, just in Al Jazeera, I didn't see anything. So this is from disclosedtv.com. This is the one I'm talking about. They said U.S. gave Israel full approval to attack Hamas in Qatar. I didn't see that over at Al Jazeera, so I don't know. Maybe Disclose had some magic scoop, but this was 2 hours ago, and I haven't seen it reported elsewhere. Not that I'm saying Al Jazeera is some like paragon of truth, but you would think this is a pretty interesting, or this pretty. I don't know, this is something you'd want to report on. So I don't know. So keep an eye out if you guys see anything that actually, with more than just so and so says, like actually have some sort of claim of a source or something. Let me know. Oh, that's weird. Sorry guys. Give me a second. I'm getting a call. 1 second. Sorry, guys, super unprofessional, but it was somebody calling about stuff around the house. I'm supposed to have a fucking the washer person coming because I had needed parts or whatever, and I don't know, it's a whole story. But anyways, we'll get back. Let's get back into foreign policy. Sorry about that. Had to deal with a little bit of real life real quick. Let's check into. Actually, let me check the chat. See. Someone asked if Greta's dead already. We'll get into that. Let me see. Sorry. Backing up to the chat. See what all you guys got. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, someone asked if Greta's dead. I guess we can jump ahead in stories. That makes sense, doesn't it? Here we go. Give me a second. Let me find that one. Because, yeah, there's news on that. The Samud flotilla says main ship attacked by drone. Tunisia denies claim. Now, okay, so this is the global Samud flotilla. Said a drone has struck its main ship, the family boat, in Tunisia, causing a fire. It says all passengers and crew are safe. Video verified by Al Jazeera shows an incendiary device falling on the ship and causing an explosion. The Tunisian National Guard says no drone was detected near the ship. So yeah, I mean, I did watch this last night. I mean, there was. Let's watch it real quick. Sorry, give me a second. I gotta reset the thing because, of course, this thing glitched out. Here we go. All right, let's try this again. Let's watch. This is a different angle, so maybe we'll get a better view of it here. But let's watch this. And this is supposed to be supposedly it was reported last night. Everyone was saying this is a boat that Greta was on because there's got numerous ones going on. But go ahead and watch this. Oh, I don't have it up. I'm an idiot. Here you go. Now it's up. Let me start that over for you. See, boom, you can see a thing come down. Yeah, it's pretty clear. Yeah, okay. Now, I did see there was another angle last night that it wasn't clear. Now, that angle's pretty clear. There was some sort of drone attack. I heard some sort of claims. I don't know. Maybe we'll see it here because this is an Al Jazeera one as well, so it does kind of give a different update, so it's not the same as earlier. The initial claim was they just said, some, Israel or whoever said, some fucking lifeguards caught on fire, or not lifeguard, life jackets caught on fire or some shit, which, okay, I guess they are supposed to be pretty flammable, I think, some of them, right? Because they have that weird material that can melt inside of them. But, yeah, it's kind of a ridiculous claim, but that was the claim, and but this seemingly disputes that. Apparently these guys were all safe, is my understanding. Let's look through this, make sure there's nothing new so far as reporting. Yeah, group says there were 6 people on board. They're all safe. Fires quickly put out, but caused damage to the foredeck and below deck storage. So I don't know if that means it's still usable or not. If that means they'll keep going on, even if they couldn't, I would assume that means they'll move to another one. But yeah, there was a genuine concern last night that holy shit, Greta might be dead. That was the reporting is yes, she might be dead. So yeah. Good morning, Tower Gang NPC. Good seeing you in here. Good morning, Che Coho. Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. versus Johnny. When I told people the best thing for the Middle East was probably a return to a strong caliphate, they laughed. Well, it looks like Greater Israel is going forward. Yeah, no, you're right, actually. That would have been probably the best move for them. Nevsky says Qatar is actually an ally. Israel is not. Exactly. So this is pretty big stuff. Murders, Hamas negotiators. All Hamas needs to do is agree to a ceasefire. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, we have nobody to negotiate, and then they murder all the negotiators. Yeah, I know there was no audio earlier. Sorry, guys. It was the StreamYard did its thing. My bad. So I think the video I showed you earlier didn't really matter. It was probably, I think it was the video you're referring to was the Qatar attack. So you may have just heard some screaming or booms. So oh well. All right. You guys are talking about the booty warrior in the chat. That's always fun. All right, let me see what else we got. Trying to catch up to the chats. Good morning, Tony Chin. Good to see you in here. Good morning, Junkie Jeff. Seen some more people joining us. Gerald Hall, good to see you joining us. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Seth. Said washers are easy to fix yourself. Hey, I did a little bit. There was a lot of. Hey, he has had to replace a bunch of different stuff. It actually worked out better going through the company because he's replaced stuff he didn't need to probably, and so I'm getting whole new parts on an old ass washer because then he's not charging and he's like, "Oh, I'm retarded and I fucked that up." I'm like, "Yeah, you are." So. At the end of the day, though, it's only going to be I pay for whatever the fuck was actually wrong with it. So if he wants to keep swapping out all these fucking putting new parts in there, go right ahead. He already swapped out the entire motor, so hell yeah. Anyways, what else we got? So yeah, I'm not going to go try to fix my own thing and fuck up the warranty. So fuck that. Good morning, Knife Safety. I think I saw you in here earlier though. So yep. Then you see someone says Mike says whatever that was, it seemed to be very soft strike. If they wanted to destroy it, they would have. Weird. Yeah, I don't know if it's just to scare them. I'm assuming you're referring to the Greta thing, so it's weird. Someone's saying they'll still never get me to care about the Greta. I don't know. If you killed her, I would be like, holy shit. I would. That would be quite the. It'd be like all these jokes about Greta and all the laughs and funnies. You're like, oh shit, got really dark. Because I don't, while I may make fun of her and stuff, like, I do kind of think she's, for what a goofball she is kind of doing something courageous, but, like, I don't know, it's still, she's Greta. It's hard not to laugh. But, yeah, holy shit. All right, let's get back into the foreign policy stuff. Netanyahu says Gaza City offensive will intensify in threat to Palestinian residents. So, yeah, this is yesterday. So he's threatened the Palestinian civilians over in Gaza, telling them to leave and warning them the assault on the city will intensify. Comments that came after his defense minister said Israeli strikes on the city would increase. The Israeli leader claimed that the Israeli Air Force took down 50 high-rise buildings over the past 2 days and warned that it was just the beginning of the offensive. Remember yesterday, I could have swore the reporting was that like what was they thought or were aware of was something like 3 or 4 over the past weekend. Maybe I was wrong on that one, but either way, according to Israel, it's 50. So I don't know what the truth of the matter is. Obviously, I do think probably ironically, it seems to be that we're typically, I think, on this show, like the sources we use are probably typically undercounting. So, but then Israel will tend to come out a lot of times, depending on what it is, especially this, since they're kind of gloating about and acting like, oh, they're removing Hamas infrastructure. They're like proud about this stuff. They might try to play down the deaths, but the destroying of the infrastructure, they play this shit up. So yeah, they've said they've taken down 50 in the past 2. So I mean, that's just kind of a systematic destruction of Gaza, just kind of leveling the place little by little. And this is the claim being that they're used by Hamas, despite that, like, they have no evidence other than the fact that, like, the evidence is, well, they're buildings, so, like, people use them, and they're people. So if we destroy buildings, they don't have buildings to use, even if they're not using them, because they could theoretically use them. That seems to be the logic here. And they've also, said over and over again that the goal here is ethnic cleansing, all that. So here's Netanyahu. He says, a few days ago, I promised you that we would bring down the terrorist high-rises in Gaza. This is exactly what we're doing. In the last 2 days, 50 such high-rises have fallen. The Air Force took them down, Netanyahu said in a statement from his office. Now all of this is only the introduction, only the beginning of the main intensive operation, the ground incursion of our forces that are now getting organized and gathering into Gaza City. Therefore, I'm taking this opportunity to say to the residents of Gaza, listen to me carefully. You have been warned. Get out of there, he added. So the Israel Katz, the defense minister, warned earlier in the day that a hurricane would be unleashed on Gaza City. Today, a powerful hurricane will strike the skies of Gaza City and the roofs of the terror towers will. This is a final warning to the murderers and rapists of Hamas in Gaza and luxury hotels abroad. Release the hostages and lay down your weapons, or Gaza will be destroyed and you will be annihilated, he wrote on X. The IDF continues its plan and is preparing to expand the maneuver to decisively defeat Gaza. That's Katz there. Fun stuff. And then we have, this is kind of what I was alluding to earlier, the ceasefire proposal, what's going on with that. I mean, the timing of all this, bear in mind, all of this stuff were stories that dropped before the Doha attacks. So this is from Jeremy Scahill over at Drop Hill News. He was actually just over on Breaking Point for those who want to hear his breakdown of this. He did a good, quick, succinct breakdown of this situation and tied it into the current situation going on in Doha because they happen to be covering it at the same time, which makes sense. These things go together. 5-point summary outlining outlining Trump's proposal for a Gaza ceasefire was delivered to Hamas by mediators over the weekend. Trump has characterized the ultimatum as a final offer to the Palestinian resistance movement before Israel accelerates its campaign to enact the total destruction of the Gaza Strip. The brief, approximately 100-word document presented in Arabic and obtained by Dropsite is titled The Main Proposal. The full text in English translation is at the bottom of this article. The outline, which contains sparse details, states that within 48 hours of accepting the ultimatum, Hamas and other resistant groups will release all Israeli captives, living and deceased. In return, Israel will free an unspecified number of Palestinian prisoners sentenced to life and detainees from Gaza within 48 hours. A ceasefire will go into effect upon implementation for a period of 60 days or until negotiations are concluded. President Trump will guarantee that the parties negotiate in good faith or until an agreement is reached. During this 2-month period of negotiation, the outline proposes the disarmament of Gaza and the formation of a new government, saying that the withdrawal of Israeli forces would be addressed only after a new governing authority is installed and negotiations are completed. It also mentions amnesty for Hamas members. The document, which is at times confusingly phrased, refers to negotiating the definition of Hamas, but does not explain what that means. U.S. proposal states that there would be open flow of aid into Gaza upon implementation of the agreement, but it does not address the quantity of aid, who distribute it, or what types of goods would be allowed in. It's not clear who drafted the document that Hamas says was delivered to the movement by the mediators. It does not contain any seals, stamps, or signatures, and is not dated. This is what we received from the Americans. It looks like it was written by the Israelis, a senior Hamas official told Dropsite. The intention isn't to achieve a full military victory or surrender of the movement, but also a delegitimization of the Palestinian resistance to deal with it like the Nazis, and the Israelis enjoy the appearance of moral superiority. Amit Segal, an Israeli analyst known for his connections to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, said on Sunday, "This is not an American proposal, but an Israeli one, wrapped in elegant cellophane and labeled Made in the USA." He added, "Trump's plans are a bit like Apple products. iPhones are manufactured in China, then shipped to the U.S., where they are wrapped and stamped Made in the USA." So the latest U.S. outreach to Hamas began on August 31st via back-channel intermediaries working in the direction of Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff. Last Friday, Trump claimed the U.S. was in very deep negotiation with Hamas. The Hamas official said he would not characterize the situation as deep negotiations, adding that Hamas made clear to the U.S. intermediaries that it was open to either a partial or comprehensive deal. Trump said that his message was that if all Israeli captives were not released at once, it's going to be a tough situation. It's going to be nasty. Trump added that it was Israel's choice, but that's my opinion. That day, the Israeli Army Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir threatened to assassinate Hamas leaders outside of Gaza, saying, "Our hand is still outstretched. Most of Hamas's leadership sits abroad. We will reach them too." Bear in mind, this was written before what happened today. Hamas struck a diplomatic tone in acknowledging receipt of the U.S. concept on Sunday. Hamas officials have told Dropsite that they recognize that the only way to end Israel's genocidal war through a formal agreement is if Trump effectively orders Netanyahu to make a deal. Hamas welcomes any initiative that helps in the efforts to stop the aggression against our people. We affirm our immediate readiness to sit at the negotiation table to discuss the release of all prisoners in exchange for a clear declaration to end the war, the full withdrawal from Gaza, and the formation of a committee to manage Gaza from Palestinian independence, who will immediately begin their work, the Hamas statement said. We also demand a guarantee that the enemy will openly, explicitly commit to what is agreed upon so that previous experiences of reaching agreements that are later rejected or overturned will not be repeated. According to sources within Hamas and those close to the Palestinian negotiation team, Trump's new concept is being viewed with extreme skepticism with suspicions. It is yet another coordinated U.S.-Israeli deception operation to continue the genocide while blaming Hamas for rejecting peace. This may be a new maneuver to help Netanyahu to gain more time and to continue their plans in Gaza, or they are under pressure to end the war, but with Israeli conditions which aren't acceptable to Hamas, said the Israeli official, adding that Hamas will not negotiate an agreement based on vague pledges from Trump. There must be indirect bilateral negotiations and mutual commitments witnessed by the mediators and guaranteed by them. All right, I don't want to read all of this thing. You guys can go check it out. You see, but we do have this going on. Let me see. See if there's more on like what they've said or accepted. But either way, they're very open to it. In its acceptance of the framework, I'm skimming ahead a little bit. Hamas offered major concessions on a range of issues. So it sounds like they're accepting the framework of this agreement. According to the document obtained by a drop site, these include reducing the number of Palestinians that would be freed in a deal, dropping Hamas's demand for a clearly defined withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Philadelphia corridor in southern Gaza, and in permitting Israeli-occupied buffer zones encircling Gaza to cut deeper in the enclave. Regional mediators said Hamas's terms constituted 98% of what Israel and the U.S. had demanded accept. The occupation is yet to respond to it. Instead, is continuous massacres and ethnic cleansing, Hamas said in statement Sunday. So it sounds like they didn't agree to literally everything of this newest one, but basically. So, I mean, we're not going to get into the specifics, but then it was followed up by the big boom boom this morning. So, not looking great. And then we have over Smotrich during all of this saying the West Bank villages should be destroyed like cities in Gaza. After there was that Jerusalem shooting we just covered the other day. Actually, yesterday, I think we covered that shooting. We juxtaposed it against the destruction of the high-rise buildings in Gaza. So it's kind of like, I mean, both are bad, but it's like, to some extent, it's like, boo-hoo. I mean, obviously bad, but yeah, either way, that's obviously not how Israel's taking it. That's they have no concept of proportionality. So after a shooting over there, this is Smotrich's take. He said the Palestinian Authority must disappear from the map, despite the fact that the Palestinian Authority has always been chill with them for the most part. So yeah, he said that villages in the Israeli-occupied West Bank should look like cities in Gaza that have been reduced to rubble in response to the shooting at a bus stop. This is Motrich said. He says, the state of Israel cannot accept a Palestinian Authority that raises and educates its children to murder Jews. So the Palestinian Authority must disappear from the map, and the villages from which the terrorists came from should look like Rafah and Beit Hanun. So, yep. Who's surprised? Not me. And we have, so far as like international stuff, I expect a bunch more of these sorts of stories coming soon, especially after today's news. Spain announces arms embargo on Israel and other steps to stop the genocide in Gaza. Then here's also we got Hollywood stepping up more, which cool. We got Emma Stone being among over 1,200 people signing a pledge to refuse to work with Israeli institutions and companies implicated in genocide and apartheid against the Palestinian people, which, like, I know I could kind of, like, make fun of Hollywood, but, hey, it's cool to see them come together on this one. I do think it's as much as we make fun of, that actually probably does make a difference. And then over on the South American side, we have Hegseth visiting Puerto Rico. We got a military buildup happening there, so keep that in mind. So you got all these photos of him shaking hands with all the people over there. Chairman of the Joint of Staff in Puerto Rico. So they're getting ready. So here's a post from him. Let me see, from Hegseth. Let me see. No, actually, never mind. This is the governor of Puerto Rico. He said, honored to welcome Secretary of War Pete Hegseth along with General Dan Kane, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to Puerto Rico. He said, we thank President Trump and his administration for recognizing the strategic value Puerto Rico has to the national security of the United States in the fight against drug cartels in our hemisphere, perpetuated by narco dictator Nicolas Maduro. So obviously they're seeding these narratives out more and more. Keep an eye on that. I don't see this going well. And then we have Venezuela saying it's deploying additional forces to combat drug trafficking. So despite the fact we're calling them drug traffickers, they're sending ones to deal with. Although, let's be real, these probably have dual purpose. This is probably more also putting out, putting your country more on high military alert. So Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Podrino announced on Sunday a significant deployment of military forces in Venezuela's coastal regions and on its border with Colombia to combat drug trafficking amid soaring tensions in the U.S., which has built up a significant naval force in the region. No one is going to come and do the work for us. No one is going to step on this land and do what we're supposed to do, Podrino said in a video on social media. U.S. says the purpose of the naval deployment is to crack down on drug trafficking, and it claims Maduro is a leader of a cartel, allegations he and other Venezuelan officials strongly deny. So they're sending people out to combat that drug trafficking mean, I don't know. I don't think everything I've seen, the whole that he's the leader of some cartel de la Sol or whatever the fuck, it seems to be nonsense. But moving on from Venezuela, we have Israelis still targeting, attacking Syrian cities. So we have more attacks. We have they're hitting sites near Homs, Palmyra, and Latakia, if you know that. So just more to them. Israel just attacking everybody, and then they're also attacking Lebanon still, which Lebanon's the one, for those to jog your memory, that's the one every now and then we cover on the show where we go through the ludicrous nature of their current ceasefire deal. Wouldn't you know it? Israel and Lebanon have a ceasefire. Here's a story about them killing 5 in airstrikes. Quite the ceasefire, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What more is there to say? I mean, it's retarded. I mean, they're literally in negotiations with Israel, in ongoing negotiations of their ceasefire, trying to get Lebanon to remove Hezbollah, which would cause a civil war, and all sorts of other things, also threatening to invade, while still flagrantly breaking the current ceasefire in place the entire time. Every advancing thing they ask for, or not Venezuela, but Lebanon just goes, sure, just only if you keep your original deal, which is stop fucking killing us. That'd be cool. But no, they can't do that. They can't stop the murder. All right, let's go through the chat, see what you guys got to say. And then, man, I am interested to go through, man, StreamYard did its thing against being gay, but whatever. We'll bring that back up here in a minute. But let's roll through the chat, see what you guys got to say. And then I am looking forward to going into this Trump stuff with you guys. So, all right, let me see. All right, what else we got in here? Let me see. The flotilla has Hamas tunnels, just aggressively agreeing. The tunnels were right below them. Yep. Let me see. Is Jose Camas? Is what Junkie Jeff says. Perhaps I am. Maybe the real Hamas was the podcasters we met along the way. Twitter Zionist is saying they shot a flare wrong and it's back on the boat. LMAO. Their complete video still doesn't show the flare being fired. Just some guy seeing it incoming. Well, to their benefit, I mean, I already deleted it or exited out of that tab, so I can't bring it back. But it did kind of look like how a flare looks, but it was going the opposite way, obviously. So flares don't, Anyways, yeah, I don't think it was a flare, but I guess I could see if somebody could say that. But yeah. Yeah, aggressively agreeing, says shooting a flare directly in the air and having it land straight onto you was impressive. Never seen it done before. But then again, geophysics are always impressive. Yeah, I guess it's possible, sure. All right. Shut it down, the Goyim know too much, says Psycho Mantis. I'm very anti-Semitic. Israel has a right to kill kids. Yeah. What did we learn today? Don't negotiate with Israel, says Knife Safety Plus. Yeah, you don't negotiate with terrorists. Good morning, Boomer Sooner. Nice to see you joining us. Yeah, invading Venezuela next. I mean, they got that ready to go. They have like a million different things ready to go all at once, it seems. All right, let's get into the main stuff. Let's get into our pedophile in chief, President Donald J. Trump. Here we go. Right here, they released it. They done did it. They released the thing. They did it. I don't think it was New York Times, but I'm not exactly sure the specific origin. You guys can let me know in the chat. I think I've heard, I don't know if some of these are maybe the New York Times releasing some stuff. The New York Times article's paywalled, and I'm not giving them money. So I don't know if maybe they give some origin of this. I've seen people say this is from subpoenas. So I think this actually might, these things, these recent things we've been looking at, I believe these are probably, I think these are from one of the, I remember vaguely Rokana and Massey, that was one of the different bureaucratic actions I think they were pursuing. I remember that actually getting through. But I was just kind of like, okay, now we're waiting for this stuff, whatever the hell that means. I think I was a little bit down on it, kind of like, okay, cool, we got this, whatever that means. And apparently that means some shit, because we have some stuff to go through today. Boy, oh boy, do we. It's not just, for those who've been paying attention to the ins and outs of the Epstein drama, a while back, I believe it was the New York Times, claimed They had a few different things from some 50th birthday book compiled for Jeffrey Epstein with different entrances from all his different favorite friends who put little passages, doodles, poems, jokes, just the sort of thing you would give a friend for their 50th birthday if you just want a nice thought or limerick or whatever. I don't know. These are the kind of things they're into. And we have they gave more than just the big thing in question. The big thing that came out of that book was a claim that there was this weird, and it seemed confusing as fuck what the hell they're explaining. Now seeing it in person, you're like, oh, I get it. But it was described as essentially a little, I guess you could almost say like a play of sorts, where they're kind of have a back and forth dialogue, and I guess you could say like a short poem or something, and then and that creates the body of what is a doodle of sorts, and which was kind of confusing. You're like, what the fuck does that mean? I think there were people who made like reconstructions of what they thought they meant. Well, we got it now. This is the thing, and I think it looks like we got damn near everything else from the book as well. There's some things that are redacted, which I know people have brought up some concerns about these things. But yeah, let's look over it. A lot of you guys might recall this. We have sort of covered this already. So this does confirm this. This was the thing that Trump then threatened to sue them for $1 bajillion or whatever the fuck. It was something ridiculous. It legitimately was some absurd amount of money, which made it pretty obvious it was a joke, or not even a joke, but like a fake suit of some sort. I think it was even filed under some specific place or circumstances where you're able to be like, oh, they're not serious about this. This was just to have a response of some sorts, and yeah. And he claimed up and down, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. Oh, I don't even doodle, and then commence all the doodles people found of all over the years of Trump being a public figure and providing doodles from all sorts of different occasions. So yeah, here it is though. I'll go ahead and read it. I guess you get more out of this if you view it, obviously, but it says voiceover, and it says, there must be more to life than having everything. And then now it goes, Donald. So obviously the voiceover there is some like third person narrator is the situation that goes, Donald. Yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Then Jeffrey goes, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. And it says Donald J. Trump. And these look typed, by the way. All the things I just said were typed. Then Donald J. Trump. And then below it, there's a signature of Donald, which is clearly Donald. A shortened version, which is that will be significant later, that you can clearly tell by the cursive. He's just spelling D, then O, then N, A, L, D. This is just a shortened. I guess this is how he likes to do his signature in certain circumstances as just Donald, which makes sense. This is Donald Trump. He is known as being Donald. It's the Donald. That is recognizable as well. So it's not that crazy. He would sign things Donald sometimes. Which, like I said, that will be significant. To describe this once again for the non-viewing audience, it's signed Donald, and now the position at which the signature is at seems to heavily imply it is meant to be, I guess you could say, genitals or pubic hair or some combination of that going on in the photo. Because as you can see, when you look at it, you're also able to see those words that I said before. They're aligned vertically, and then there's also this kind of created design around it to kind of give the semi-hourglass of like a human body. And then there is also in the middle, under the second line, what is like kind of shapely things to imply breasts. Now there were fakes of this that people made. They were like, oh my god, to kind of like reconstruct what we were told it was before. They weren't as fucking creepy as this one is, because what has been reported over and over again, and I guess once again, sorry to those in my audience that are members of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee, but this does not look like, if someone was to say, it was wanting to draw a fun little doodle for their friend of a naked woman with pubes and just kind of being, I don't know, fun and goofy, whatever. We had some times we hung out at the strip club. Maybe we even shared a whore or whatever. But like, hey, that was the kind of life we lived. You buxom woman and whatever. Like we're into that shit. You would think, you'd give it some, I don't know, some tiggle bitties or titties at all, or not what looks like. Yeah, does not look like. This does not look like what one would doodle if they were to doodle an adult woman. I mean, that's all I can say. But it's, I guess I don't know for sure, but it's weird. It's weird. That's all I can say. It's weird. But wouldn't you know? You're not going to fucking believe this. Watch as I scroll up here for the visual people. I'll let the audio people know here in a second. Here's Michael Tracy saying, mildly amusing letter. Otherwise, who cares? What's the significance of this even supposed to be? It proves Trump is a pedophile or something? Give me a break. I just said right on cue. He came and write this shit as like truth is stranger than fiction, which it is. Holy shit. I guess I should be surprised that Tracy would come running. By the way, I didn't realize I didn't have this up the entire time. Once again, I fucked up. My bad. Here you go, which I guess I described it for you so that works out. But for the visual now, now you're not only relying on audio. Here it is. Sorry, I'm zooming in on it again. My bad. I didn't have it up the whole time. Here you go. Here's for the audio or the visual guys. You can actually see what we're referring to here. You can see what I mean. That does not look like... Hell, that almost looks like if you were trying to mess with your buddy and you're like, I don't know, let's say you had a friend who just was like not in good shape and you're like, hey, there's Billy bitch tits. Like if you were to, like this is what I would draw of my friend if I was making fun of him. Be like, hey man, you need to work out. Here's my little doodle of you, little Billy bitch tits. Like this does not look like a woman. Like this does not look like a doodle of a woman. So anyway, sorry I fucked up on the visual. We're back, baby. I got it now. So yeah, it's wild. We have more for this though, but yeah, like I said, here's Tracy, right on cue, just like jumping into the fray, going, oh, he's not what do you think this means a pedophile? This means some weird shit. That's what it means, Tracy. This means some weird shit. I'm sorry. This means weird shit. And let's get into some more weird shit. As I said to you guys, the signature will be significant, and as I said, the Donald aspect of it. Well, here is Charlie Kirk. He goes, what? Does the below from the Wall Street Journal look like this actual signature from the president? I don't think so at all. Fake. Ooh. And then what is he sharing? And then he's sharing another. Okay, never mind. He was sharing the original. So he has this other one right here, which this other one that I've seen go around. I guess there is some variation of this here. And then I said, I shared it, and I said, LOL, LMAO even, and I shared this thing I found. I didn't put this together myself. I stole this somewhere online. This is a little thing of a side-by-side of Donald J. Trump. Here's Donald. This is from the Epstein card. Then you also see another one, Sincerely, Donald J. Trump. This is a 95 letter to Lillian Volk. You see Donald looks exactly the same as the Epstein one. And you see another one, a letter to Larry King. Says love Donald, and it looks once again exactly like those. I mean, there's some minor differences, but no different than the differences that you would have in your own signature, because we all do. I mean, like when I was signing documents from my mortgage when I had like $1 million, like my signature looked a lot different than if I was to sign get an anniversary card or something for my wife and sign it or some shit. Not that I don't really do cards, but you get the point. There's a difference. I even put in there, it's not at all crazy to have multiple signatures. He clearly is a shorthand Donald one and no longer Donald J. Trump. Probably just uses them for different occasions or interchangeably. It said, I have multiple versions of just the long form of my name, depending on how lazy I'm being. Signing documents versus signing a card. But also that dude probably be fucking kids and shit. But yeah, you can see here, this is Donald J. Trump. This is some sort of other one. And in that, too, it's been ridiculous. Not just Kirk. It's been everyone running with it. We have Vance as well. Here's J.D. Vance saying the Democrats don't care about Epstein. They don't even care about his victims. That's why they were silent about it for years. The only thing they care about is concocting another fake scandal like Russiagate to smear President Trump with lies. No one is falling for this shit. To which I said, I believe it. I believe you're running cover of pedophiles. I believe you're a Pure Tails bitch. I believe you are an enemy of the people. And I shared that thing again. Just to continue to rub their face. But just kind of more to this point, here's someone saying damage control memo went out. Here's I mean, it's just all these big accounts. Everyone immediately, just like clockwork. Just, no, that's not it. That's not it. It's not even a moment thinking of like, could I be wrong? Just they got the call. They took up arms. They heeded the call. Here's Derek Doherty doing, holy shit, it's not even his signature. Then you got Benny Johnson saying, oh, he's got the most famous signature in the world. It's not even them. Which, by the way, there's been like 1 million people who have come out too that I found online showing their individual signatures that they got from Trump from whatever thing or another that matches the Epstein one. So, but then there's other people who have done the same thing with the other longer one too that these guys are getting at. So there's a thing where I think they're both right. So here's Nick Sorter saying, holy crap, the letter has been released, and he's saying, this signature looks nothing like President Trump's signature. Oh. There's Charlie Kirk, like we just talked. So yeah, here's everyone scrambling to go, it's not real, it's not real, it's not real. Well, let's go through this. Let's go through this not real thing. Like I said, it's fucking real. I mean, I can find it for you guys later. There's another one somewhere of it had something like, it must have been like damn near 20 different ones of different versions of it, and it was all the same. So, all right, here is a thread from Ryan Dawson. And the reason why I chose to go with Dawson for this thread, there were a few different ones I had to choose for, but for those who are aware of Dawson, from my understanding, it's not that I like watch a ton of his work or anything. He's been one of the ones who's been a little bit more soft, I could say. I would say on Trump. I mean, that sounds like a value, but point being, he's been kind of soft. He kind of leans into the whole like, oh, Mar-a-Lago lore of like, oh, he kicked him out. Oh, he's clearly not cool with this. And I mean, I don't know if Ryan's maybe shifted a little bit since the repeated cover up. But either way, point being is he is someone who's noted as being a good researcher on this, and he's also one who's been noted as being a little bit soft on Trump. Yet here he is going, Epstein birthday book thread, Trump is cooked. And I think he is probably correct. This is one of those ones the more I think on, the more I go, holy shit. So let's go through that. Here's one photo here. Here's a photo of Jeffrey Epstein with, who is this? I don't know who this guy in the middle is here. I don't know if they even really say. And then he has holding it's Jeffrey Epstein holding, it says pay to the order of Jeffrey Epstein. Holy shit. I'd seen this one, but I had to quite piece together exactly what this was. Holy fucking shitballs. Which, I mean, I guess whatever. It's probably known they've done business of some sort before, but it's just the optics of this one right here. Sorry for the audio, guys. I know I'm hemming and hawing. This right here is a photo of Jeffrey Epstein. Sorry, I did the StreamYard thing again real quick. All right, here you go. Sorry for the visual, guys. You got it back. Sorry, blame StreamYard. They changed it. They changed the logistics, and it throws me off. I used to use one click and I could bring up a thing. Now it's two, so I keep forgetting to go back for the second click to bring it up. So, anyways, yeah. So here's literally a check that says pay to Jeff Epstein for $22,500, and it's signed by Donald J. Trump. It's one of those goofy big letters. So, and it says, and here's the letter, or here's what it says below it. It says, Jeffrey showing early talents with money and a woman. Sells, in quotes, fully depreciated, redacted to Donald J. Trump for $22,500. That's holy fucking shit. This one, the more I read it, the more I'm like, holy fucking shit. Because, like, you can see there's blacked out things here. There's Epstein, some dude in the middle, I don't know who that is, some other dude right there who has creepily, seems to have his arm over someone. And now what's redacted, you can see below here, a pretty slight arm, what looks like perhaps a dress. And then I see below the redacted, you can see, below the redacted portion, you can see what looks like blonde hair. I don't know who that's supposed to be, but, and then we have here, then it goes, bear in mind, redactions typically are for like, identifying information. So it's typically going to be a name or something. So then we have here, Jeffrey showing early talents with money plus woman sells, in quotes, fully depreciated, redacted to Donald Trump for $22,500. Putting in quotes, people skills, keep in mind, showed early, in quotes, people skills too. even though I handled the deal, I didn't get any of the money on the girl. And then they just say girl. All right. I mean, okay, to be fair, I mean, obviously the Michael Tracy's of the world go, you don't know what he got money? Which actually, I really do think he actually may have come out for this one and said something ridiculous already. But I don't even know how to interact with Tracy if I were to. It's just bizarre. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess despite if you're giving, unless you're someone giving this the most absurd level of good faith interpretation, this looks insanely sinister. Like, even if this is an of-age woman, this is bizarre. Like, even if this is just some whore, like, what? Like, what is going on? Yeah, okay, all right, well, let's get into the next one. That is... All right, here's more. Here's another photo. Man, I might have to be careful. I don't know if some painter's going to pop up in here. This is pretty cool, actually. Here's an old photo of, like, Epstein looking like fucking... This is back in, like, the 80s or something. I'm not going to lie, he looks cool as shit right here, dude. I'm not going to lie. He's, like, had some skibbies. Got long-ass hair, hairy body. I'm not going to lie. Epstein looks cool as shit here. I have no idea what we're looking at. This is, I guess, photos of them when they're younger and older, these people. I don't recognize any of them. Hey, Epstein was in pretty damn shape. No homo. Look at him as an old guy. Pretty buff. Covered like a goddamn Sasquatch, though. Fucking weird. But yeah, okay. There's another photo from it. Here's I want him in a hammock. It says, let me see. It's Epstein in a hammock. It says, let the next 50 years something photos. I can't read that one. I don't think that's matter. I don't think that one really matters all that much. And here is another one from Dawson saying, take off your clothing at knife point. It's a joke in question mark. Here's another photo from here. It says, girls on my boat. We picked up girls on beach, went out on boat. I tell them with knife in my hand to take suits off. But Warren says, don't worry. His name is JN. He's just joking. He lives at so-and-so and tell Mark to throw him into water. He something. So then here's a photo of Jeffrey Epstein. He has some weird shirt with little hands all over it, which that's creepy. That's weird. Then Rabbi's daughter at your mom's house. Here's another weird little thing from it. Some little note in here. It says, Castaway Volumes 1. I was porking some girl in bed, and Jeff brings in the main to make bed. She left screaming and never came back. We were both in bed porking. Some girl that said, what do you think? Well, he's shoving penicillin down my throat, I think. It looks like penicillin, but I think he means penicillin. Sorry. Then the second one, here's another little note. It says, redacted, the rabbi's daughter. Jeff would call the house rabbi. We can't tell what that says. And say, this is redacted's father. I would bring her up to your mother's house and make her take top off so we could touch her boobs. There plus redacted would play together with toys. Well, that doesn't sound good, does it? We're supposedly talking about a daughter, and that how he would go to their house and say that there's so and so's father, which I would assume to imagine the situation here, perhaps that this is some sort of rich woman of some rich younger lady, or perhaps, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's adult, maybe it's not. But then, I don't. Actually, that wouldn't make sense to say they're this is father. Well, I guess you could say if it's somebody else's, like, say for example, like I guess with my kids, like if it was some other, like, you could say like, oh, I'm my daughter's father, and then that would get me like access to be able to get, I don't know. Let's say, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure out like what this makes sense. I think what we're talking about here perhaps is he was pretending to be another kid's father. A kid that has a relationship with this daughter. That would make sense to me. Sorry, and that sounded like I had to just explain that in a weird ass way. But that's what makes sense to me. Which obviously that is implies some pedophilic stuff possibly. Although who knows? Maybe they're 18, 19, 20, early, still living with their parents. But that doesn't look good. Here's more. So it says Warren is Warren Einstein. Frog is Brunel is what. Ryan had to see here. Here's some excerpt from the stuff. I don't know what this is from particularly, but it says, that don't give a shit attitude, your calculated aloofness, your sense of humor, and most importantly, that confidence came to you early on. You had to have confidence, and I don't give a shit attitude to bring your bring redacted into your Seagate world. You began to realize that you would get away with shit, that chicks and people in general were schmucks. You sensed you were sharper or more astute than most, especially the ones who had women, money, position, and power. Yes, your charisma and persuasive ways came very early on, and you didn't learn life's lessons in your house. You learned them from us, me, Frog, and we, W-E, so that's Warren Eisenstein. I don't know enough about him. Frog being Brunel, John Luke Brunel or whatever. So that's obviously the other model agency owner that they had a relationship with. So anyways, I guess it's just kind of showing their relationship. Here's more. It says, remember summers when Warren would always work some shit-ass job, Nathan's for minimum wage. I would always find something. It says male ego in Brighton Beach. And Frog would too. Cabana boy. These things are always too. The other thing is, like, don't like think that whatever we're looking at is what we're looking at. These things are so cryptic and weird. Like, I've also heard rumors, which actually, I should probably hunt for it right now because it actually weirdly ties into this. There's been these rumors from different people here and there for a while now that perhaps Epstein is actually gay. I mean, I would assume he had to be at least bi, because, I mean, it's just bizarre, all the stories about him and women. But let me see if I can, I'll try to, like, hunt for it here and there. But, yeah, I had one of you guys share with me about some shit Lennon said about, apparently Lennon said about him back in the day. I'm not seeing it. I'll look for it here later. But anyways, point being is then you see he's talking about, Warren used to work some shit job for minimum wage, and he's calling it Nathan's. And then he goes, I would always find something, and then puts in parentheses, male ego. And then he goes, Frog would too, who's John Luke Brunel. And then parentheses, Cabana boy. And then it says, but Jeff would never work. Yes, you were special. You did things like music camps in Michigan, etc. Which brings to me when you lost your virginity. You may not remember, but I was on the same roof, and then it goes on to something else. Yeah, see, like that's what I'm talking. Like that, the wording there. Like, what are you talking about when you first got in boys? Is that what that is? Like, what is? This is weird shit. This is weird. This is very, very weird. Like, that is this is coded language. Like, remember how rich these people are. These guys weren't working minimum wage at any point in their fucking life. Whoever Warren is, Warren Eisenstein, who knows? Maybe he had a rough upbringing. Maybe he worked a rough job at one point, but I don't think John Luke Brunel was. Maybe whoever this other person was they were talking about. Like, this sounds like coded language to me. Here's another photo. Here's Ghislaine. What looks like her naked in the pool with Jeffrey. Here's photos of what looks like some young girl. I have no idea who this is. It says something series of something looking, I don't know what. And then, this is definitely some young girl, which I don't know what she's doing here. Then it's photos with him and Woody Allen, which anyone knows about him. Here's photos from him and John Luke Brunel, which I don't know. He's highlighted some sort of weird, I don't know. I don't know enough about math. Maybe one of you math nerds. I bet you, I'd be willing to bet this math thing probably has some sort of fucking code in here as well. This is from John Luke, actually. Then here's more about him using escorts. So this came out. Here's an excerpt. It was from Bill Ickes. It says, I had invited Jeffrey to come to Fairfield to see our investment operations, meet the Zimmerman family, and learn more about their major charitable projects. He asked about the nightlife, and we could only laugh as we dropped him off at the local motel. The next morning, a group of 4 of us picked up Jeffrey to give him a tour of the area. At our first stop, we parked in front of a Brooks store. As we were getting out of the car, a spectacular tall blonde woman suddenly came out of the store, walked directly past us and up to Jeffrey and announced, I am new to this area. What's going on? Turned out she was a sales representative from a firm selling academic branded athletic clothing, and she was literally driving from Iowa visiting local campuses. Jeffrey invited her to join us and did his magic. Within a few hours, he invited her to return to New York with him for the weekend. Guys in the car were astonished to even see such an attractive lady in Fairfield, amazed to see that she passed over them to meet Jeff, and were speechless when she agreed to come to New York. I'll admit to wondering at the same time whether Jeffrey somehow arranged the whole episode through some long-distance escort service, but the following week I happened to be in Manhattan, and Jeffrey asked me to give her a ride back in our company plane, give me a chance to speak with her a few hours. She was the real McCoy. Happy birthday, Jeff. Whatever. That one says already using escorts, which, like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, whatever. I'm not surprised that he was using us. That means nothing to me. I mean, he's just some rich guy. Of course, he used escorts. Here's another photo that was in it. Ryan saying they all knew what they did. Here's a weird little doodle in here. It says, "Dear Jeffrey, happy 50th." I mean, it's some weird like online art, but I really don't know how to describe it. You see the plane, you see balloons, you see a cake. There's also got weird, it says Joel on here, so whoever Joel is. And there's weird photos of like a hot mermaid, but like then a chick kind of doing this like bikini pose with her ass out, and a chick doing like the hands through the hair, like kind of, I don't know, flipping their hair out of the water type thing. Chick, all kind of like semi-evocative, not like overly like, overly sexual poses, but all kind of like evocative, I guess you could say, implying women, I don't know, feeling invigorated or almost like orgasmic type of vibes is what I get out of that. So obviously seems implying things. I mean, there's 4 women and a plane. One of the women's like a mermaid on like a rock in the water. And then also here's another photo. It said, Ryan Dawson, this sums it up, and they thought this was funny. Now, I will say this photo right here, a lot of people run with the photo I'm about to describe to you and acted like this was some like proof positive that this was like an international child trafficking thing going on or something. Now, I don't necessarily think that's the case. So let me describe what we're looking at. It's a little doodle of 2 separate scenes. One scene of someone with balloons, with dark hair and like, just kind of normal politician-ish clothings, I guess, handing balloons and a lollipop to little girls. And then there's another photo right next to it of a plane flying overhead, what looks like a little mansion, palm trees, a man laying on a seat getting rubbed down by what looks to be, attempted drawing beautiful woman, and they're scantily clothed, and these are blonde-haired, buxom-looking ladies, and they're giving a big old rub down. And it says on the bottom, it says, "What a great country." And the one with the little kids, it says 1983, and the other one says 2003. And so a lot of people run with that. They go, "Oh, this is like proof positive. It's a child trafficking ring." Now, I will say it's fucking weird. It's super duper 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 fucking weird. And I think even if you were to try to interpret this without sinister, crazy, overt, sinister undertones, or overtones, I guess. I guess the point here would be, though, the 1983-2003. The implication here is that, like, now I'm living it up, and what a great country. Like, there's a way to interpret this and not be like, we're literally slinging children, because there's literally 20 years between these two. I think it heavily implies that the girls from the previous one are now the girls there, which is gross. The fact that there's like, romanticizing the idea that like at one point I'm the fatherly figure and these are little girls and now they're older adult women, and yeah, it's creepy. That's weird. But I mean, I guess at that point they are adults. So it's a little bit different than being like, it's proof positive of some child trafficking ring. No, this is proof positive that he's a pervert, is all that is. So no, don't get me wrong. I think there probably was a child trafficking ring. I just don't think this is some crazy proof positive. I think this is proof positive these guys are fucking perverts. They're clearly, now I will say it implies some things. It makes you go, what the fuck is going on here? Why are you guys being so pervy and overt about all of this? It's almost like you're trying to scream something without saying something. Here's another photo. It says this one reveals a Santa Fe property. So some weird doodle. Says Santa Fe, Palm Beach, New York, Little St. Jeff. I guess implying some of the different properties he had. It's a Paris one as well. It's a weird little doodle. And then obviously the one we covered already, the little what looks like a girl's outline, which is creepy. And here's a picture that was made by pressing a painted nipple onto paper. This was specially commissioned by Henry Rozovsky for him in honor of Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday. And so you can kind of see how like this is like a nipple. You can tell this is literally art made by a nipple being rubbed around on paper. So and then that's what else we got on that. So this doesn't look good. I mean, obviously nothing here is like incredibly overt, like, hey, this is where they bang kids, but it doesn't look good. This is what we got so far. We also got We got my buddy Ken. This is what he thinks was probably the most interesting thing. And so, like, I haven't had a chance to really look through all this myself, so I'll probably have to somewhat defer to my friend Ken here. So this is, he quote tweeted something from Mario Nafal saying, colleague reveals Epstein met Ghislaine as teenage daughter. So let's read this. This is says House Oversight released message from Elliot Woke revealing Epstein worked for Bob Maxwell in mid-1970s and knew Ghislaine when she was Maxwell's teenage daughter. So Woke's note, Jeffrey, I remember the mid-1970s, you being a star salesman for our tax advantage strategies. Was that when you first discovered the Maxwell teenage daughter? Happy birthday. This timeline means Epstein knew Ghislaine Maxwell since she was a teenager, decades before their documented romantic relationship and criminal partnership. Robert Maxwell died mysteriously in 1991. So that's an interesting one. And here's a photo of exactly that. It says, we already read it, so no need to read it again. But showing that their relations went a lot further back than any of us really realized. But yeah, all right, let's get into the next one here in a minute. Let's roll through the chats. That's all I have, particularly for the book. I have a feeling more will come out. This is pretty early stuff. Like I said, this all kind of came out last night. So, but let's roll through the chat, see what else you guys got to say. Been minutes since I checked in. Good morning, Marty McFly. First time seeing you here this morning. What's up? I see you're on to the Jew stuff. Yeah, I can only talk about pedos, Trump, and Gaza, Israel. Yep, that's all I got here, Nevsky. All right, let me see what else we got here. Noam says, I'm usually a good judge of character, so if Trump gets confirmed as a big gay pedo, make me question myself. I really don't care about him. I just thought I was a better pedo spotter. You know what? I feel the same way. This is why, like, I've been going through some of the older information that I think, kind of dismissed since it was in the heyday of Me Too. I'm looking back now, I'm like, man, I missed a lot of shit. I never really liked him that much, but I always find him, like, he's enjoyable. He's infectiously funny, kind of. So, but yeah, the Benny Johnson's playing that's not his real signature in unison is hilarious. Says knife safety, for sure. I guess we're all the non-viewing audience today, says Tom33. Hey, I got it together. I'll get it together. So yeah, God forbid Western Goyim leaders learn about their Nepali brothers literally overthrowing their corrupt government. Well, I don't know what's going on in Nepal. Tag me in it, Gerald. I know you usually tag me in a lot of stuff, so tag me in it. And maybe I'll cover it tomorrow. But yeah, I didn't know. Maybe we'll cover something about Nepal next week. So the government tried to mandate tracking phone apps for foreigners and officials being able to set their own pay. Nepali said, fuck that, and protested. Cops shot a bunch of kids. Well, that's not good. You sound like a Nepalese right now, Gerald. Why are you so worried about it? I said population of Kathmandu chimping out, burning politicians' houses. Well, all right, that's pretty fucking based. I'll definitely probably have to cover that tomorrow, won't I? Definitely be on the lookout for that, people. What else we got? Has Wall Street Journal ever told the truth, said Nevsky? I don't know. Is this Journal? I thought it was Times. No, it was. I saw Times report. Actually, I think you're right. I think it was Journal that was the original reporting of a lot of this stuff. Well, it looks like they're told the truth this time. So, here we go. Let's persecute the Epstein perpetrators in order of how bad they are. Couldn't care less about Trump specifically. Let's go in order of number of kids fucked and Trump falls where he falls. I actually agree. This is why, like, who was it? I think I had Mel on a while back, and she kind of brought up points. Like, I kind of, given the, like, I kind of get why people are like, oh, they don't want to release everything because it's like, oh, then anyone even, like, tangentially associated will have that stain on them. And it's like, yeah, yes. But once we get a culmination of, like, if we were able to get, like, a mass amount of data of everything, then now we can come to a better understanding of what is significant and what isn't. Just like you're saying right here, Tom, like, if we're trying to figure out, the order of them, how bad they are, well, then we kind of need a mass amount of information to get a vibe of, like, who falls where on here. Who knows? Maybe once all the chips fall on the table, we go, oh, yeah, well, shit, all that Trump stuff was a little bit exaggerated. It's not looking that way, but yeah, you get the point. But yeah, so it's like this idea of, like, oh no, we're worried everyone will how they'll be perceived, and you're like, well, okay, but, like, I still want the info. So I'm sorry you don't like what the info might say. All right. Dawson has always hated Trump, says Nevsky. Yeah, I mean, I know he doesn't like him, but so far as in relation to Epstein, I've heard he's kind of not one who thinks is like on the he's fucking kids train. Oh, and then Nevsky just says he never lets it crowd his research. Okay, all right, cool, yeah. So he's definitely not I wouldn't say he's a Trump fan. To be clear, I was not trying to give that perception about Dawson. I never really got the impression he was a fan. It's just that was it, yeah. Let me see. Yes, you guys. This is just a freak show of writing, says Marnimac. Yeah, this shit's wild. This is nuts. Someone says, how do you not know your children's friends' parents? Well, I mean, there's a lot of different parents, and you got a lot of different kids. It's not that crazy. Have some kids, and then tell me you know all your fucking kids, all the parents of all your kids. But I also wouldn't just be like, I don't know, the idea that some dude would just show up to my house like that and be like, oh yeah, fucking take her. Like, no, that's not happening. Could fully depreciate being the girl in the pictures of Melania, and she'd age out of Epstein's network. Does that time outright? I don't know. I don't know when that was dropped or the time. But that would be an interesting, I mean, maybe not even necessarily Melania, but if that could be something depreciated means. Kind of like, I don't know what they mean by that. So it does sound like they're implying the broad's used up. And so that's like the joke here. Like, haha, here's some used up broad. And I was even able to sell it to Donald Trump for $22,000. What a salesman I am. And you're like, she's some used up whore. Like, that's almost what it felt like the joke was. So I don't know. Tom says, if you fuck dudes, you're gay, even if you also fuck women. Thank you for that. Yeah, the Minnesota's manifesto was more transparent than this mess. Emphasis on trans is aggressively agreeing. Yes. So 50th in quotation marks too. That's odd. I didn't notice that. I guess it says 50th in quotation marks somewhere. Yeah, I want to know who saved this whole time. Says Tom, sounds like Epstein's estate because they're the ones who provided it. Keep in mind, this guy is likely a prominent blackmailer. So what is his, like, that's kind of the subtext of these books, like these, a 50th anniversary book. What is this? This is just an ode to black, like, this is every one of these pages is like, if you look at it under that, like, lens of this guy as a blackmailer, you're like, holy shit. And I don't really know how you look at it in any other fucking ones. Adrian Brody says, didn't Brunel gift Jeffrey 3 teen triplets for his birthday once? Something like that. It was that or twins, I think. I don't know how legit that is. I believe that's the claim. Seth says one girl is definitely massaging him down below. Now I still have that up. Let me see. Let me see what you mean there about massaging him down below. Yeah, that's true. One of the girls is massaging him down below, but that's the adult woman. So I thought you might have been implying like the girls. So, but although it's still weird. So, but yeah. Yeah, Junkie Jeff says I'm still hung up on the quotations 50th thing. His 50th in quotations what? It didn't mention a birthday at all. No, that is weird. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So yeah. Let me see. The doodle gives me Chris Chan vibes. The Psycho Mantis, yeah, it's creepy. So yeah, and once again, more about that. They never mentioned a birthday, but just this in quotations 50th. Jose, why don't you ever make nipple paintings on live stream? You'd probably get more subscribers. Yeah, that's true. Should I prove that it was a nipple painting? Is that what it is? That's what we're doing here? I could do that, yeah. All right, let's see. A little chit-chatty day, guys. All right, let's get through the next bit of Epstein stuff. Cleared through the chats. 1 second. Once these tabs load. Sorry. All right, the latest and where we're at with all these Epstein things. Here is Thomas Massey. Let's make sure I have this up. Yep, I do. So Trump and Johnson likely doomed an effort to stop Epstein's files vote. The latest over in Axios is Representative Thomas Massey's discharge petition on releasing the Epstein files is all but certain to force a House vote by end of the month, even if no additional Republicans sign on. So it sounds like we're past that point. Man, Axios is wanting my fucking info. No, Axios, you don't get that. I wonder if it'll let me do it for free, because I kind of do want to read this. Fuck it. Yeah, let's do. I don't know. I'm going to give my internet, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to sign up for a fucking email thing right now. But yeah, that is a thing going on right now. that they're going to force it by the end of the month, even if none of them sign on. Apparently, that's because 2 empty seats in Congress will be filled with representatives who will sign, according to Massey. So we have between Massey and Rokana in a certitude this will get through. And I got to say, without even really having to get the details, I did want to read that article. I'm bummed that I got to sign up for it. But so I get into the specifics of it. But either way, I mean, let's be real. I mean, just considering what we just covered now, and I think what we were talking about initially when this first was floated out, we were talking about like something like 2 to 4 holdouts. So, and it's like all of the Republicans I think were holding out. So I don't think they needed much, and they have a lot to pull from. With this latest, I don't know. This really does feel big. This feels big to me. I just... And then you pair this with the stuff going on in the Middle East and like where they're at. It seems to be they're at a tipping point. I think things might be getting wild. And I think that vote might be happening. Now, maybe they'll pull some tricks. I'm unsure. But, yeah. All right, let's check in the chat real quick, and then we'll move on to our Patriot Front story. See what you guys got. There's a paywall website. There's a website you can bypass the paywall. Somebody says, yeah, you can, whatever. I don't think we need to get too much in the details. And I think it's pretty self-evident it's probably going to get through, since we have been reporting it's only like single digits people they need for this vote. And I think they have a significant amount of time. And from my understanding, it's a thing that once they do get the votes, Mike will essentially be forced to bring it to a real vote, bring it to the whatever. So I think this shit's happening. And as much as I'm down on the government and actually getting things done, I mean, hell, here we are today breaking down something at the beginning of this shit, well, a little bit ago, from something that I was a little bit down on. I'm like, I don't know, maybe something will come, maybe it won't, and here we are. This is that subpoena from a while back that seemingly came through. I was like, I don't think we're going to get a goddamn thing out of this, or just shit that doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, there wasn't anything that's, I guess, like... solid that like is like you're like, holy, like this is like a smoking gun, but it's so suggestive to such an insane degree, and they're doubling down to such a ridiculous degree, and it's super obvious. It's the fucking signature. That's his signature. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know where this goes. This is a wild one. All right, let's get into the Patriot Front story. Just like I told you, this is just kind of like a reminder. These guys fucking glow. That's basically all it is. But just recently, Ken covered this just a few days ago, that there were more documents released, and the FBI released another batch of documents on the Patriot Front. So the interesting thing here is they show that an FBI informant was still providing info on the group in 2024, and then in parentheses he puts, again, a B7D redaction means it's protecting a source. Previous Patriot Front docs were from around 2020 and 2021. So that means the point being here is where there were documents that we have looked at on this show in the past from 2020 and 2021 that showed that there were informants of some sort related to Patriot Front, because you're able to tell with a B7D redaction, which is what we see right here. You see, oh, my bad. You look at this key up in the top, says all information contained herein is unclassified except where shown otherwise. It shows a key here, B1, B3, B6, B7, BD, B7E. And so he says B7D, which says -7, which I don't know if that means there were 7 altogether. I don't know exactly what that means. But yeah, that shows up. Although I guess you can see here, actually shows on each one when there's redactions. So you even see here, see B7D. That's what we said was the redaction. So you can see here, they give the reason B7D, B7D again. So these are all the different, like on every page, just giving explanations for why these things are redacted. And one of the reasons why is to protect a source. So that's an informant. So we do this stupid fucking game every so often online, and people go, oh, you guys just think anytime white people get together and do something, it's a bunch of fucking feds. No, I'm just not retarded, and I read things. I'm aware of stuff and things. I check out articles. I listen to podcasts. I live in the world, the real world, and I've I've created this ability of seeing patterns. It's not this ability. I'm just born with it. It's like biological. Like if anything, the world tries to take it out of you. And I've just, identified certain patterns. They've helped me throughout life. And I kind of go, oh, shit, this seems to be true in many cases. And from there I go, holy shit, look at this entity. This behaving in a certain way. Oh, wow, this seems to correspond with other patterns I've seen before. Huh, isn't that weird? Wow, maybe I should, I don't know, resort to my previous experiences in life that have, I don't know, shown me this to be the case. No, I'll just wait. I'll just assume the best about fucking everything like a fucking idiot. No, I live in the real world. And, yeah, I mean, as much as you want to be like, oh, no, they're coming after Whitey and this and that, you're like, sure, that can also be true, while they're also fucking probably feds. So just throwing it out there. I don't really know to do with it. I do like to every now and then remind you guys that this is the case. I mean, there's more if you guys want to go get into it. I mean, this is just the previous documents that Ken shows, and you can kind of go in there, and they show the same things, the same redactions, B7D, that show, hey, there's an informant that is informing on this group of goofballs right here. These, what all the fucking, all the, I don't know, what do you want to call them? The retarded racist right or whatever, which, I mean, I don't really care. I think like a racist, like a thing I get upset about. They're like, these guys aren't feds. I mean, I don't, okay, maybe they're not. It don't look good. Maybe they're not feds, but it is infiltrated. And that's the other thing too, is like, it's also this like misunderstanding what we were saying. When we say, haha, they're feds, I don't mean literally everyone is a fed. I mean, that group is infiltrated. And this group is clearly infiltrated. As I can literally show you by this right here, these literal documents, this group has been infiltrated, at least from 2021 up until 2024, at the very least. Do with that what you want, but that is the case. So, all right, then now let's roll the chat, and then we'll get through our last topic for the day. All right. Let me see. Oh, I accidentally skipped way ahead. Let me see. Dates 1983 and 2003 are significant with Iran-Contra arms deals leading to Iran-IAEA agreement reaching, but Mossad had a lot to do with that, so aggressively agreeing. Junkie Jeff said again, but it does feel like there's a global civil war about to happen. You're not wrong. You're not necessarily wrong. Tom says Trump not being a pedo was one of the few things I agree with Dawson on. Yeah, that's kind of also what's driving it too. Like, Dawson's one of the ones that's like, no, I don't think he's a pedophile. I just straight up think he's a pedophile at this point, to be completely honest. So just Epstein himself kept it, says Tom33. I can't believe he's the only holder of this shit. No, I doubt he was the only holder. I highly doubt he was the only holder. I mean, someone actually brought up a pretty good theory that, don't get me wrong, it has already crossed my mind. It's not something I don't think about when you see these sort of things. That perhaps these sort of things are maybe even being leaked out by like the Teals or organized in some way of like to put their fucking Manchurian butthole in place, JD Vance. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a possibility, but it is weird. If that's the case, then he didn't get the memo because he should have shut the fuck up about Epstein stuff, and he's already on record saying it's a joke and this and that. And he's also now currently on record doubling down, tripling down on how it's a fake, it's a fake, it's a fake. I really, if anything, like Peter Thiel, like get a hold of your boy. Like this is his moment to shine, and he, if anything, he should be shutting the fuck up. Which, I mean, whatever. Go ahead and attach him to this administration all you want. I don't care. I don't want Vance as the next guy. Take damn near anything. He freaks me the fuck out. That is 100% like a white Obama incoming. Like he's gonna fuck everything. Not that he's really even actually that good on paper. It's just that a lot of dumb MAGA people think he's good just because it kind of was been somewhat sort of based on some things. So yeah. But yeah, I do think Epstein kept it, and I do think other people probably have it. But yeah, I know there might be something to that. It just seems that if that is the case, that there is some sort of like this is a like they're trying to destroy him PR-wise, trying to usher him out so Vance can come in some way, shape, or form. Then Vance should have probably really shifted positions on a lot of things and stuff a lot earlier. I mean, there's ways to do it without seeming like you're throwing Trump under the bus, but he didn't have to attach his name to such a degree like he is. So I don't know. If they're controlling all this at a high level, they're doing it pretty clunky. So now you guys are talking about grindcore in there. That's nice. That's nice. Somebody's talking about anal cunt rock. Apparently that's a thing. That's nice. Right. Someone says, I don't think Teal is doing the blackmailing. They wouldn't have attached themselves to Trump. I don't know. I mean, I definitely think he's probably attached to it somehow. I mean, I don't have anything to support that, but at the very least, he's doing weird, fucked up shit. That is for sure. Someone said, put your glasses back on. You're too handsome for Nevsky and Alien Big Cat. I am pretty handsome. Thank you, PJR. All right, let's get into some, I don't know, these are mostly, this is the end of the episode. I didn't have much else. This is one I've been wanting to cover for a little while. I just kind of a compilation of the different weird CEO guys that are lining up to suck Trump's dick lately. I don't know what to make of this. This is just weird. These creep me out. This feels like literally like a South Park bit. I think they did that. Didn't they do that recently? Where like literally like it was like a line of people and they just come in and one by one just like tell him how great his penis is and give him some sort of gift. Well, I got a few of those for you now, and I just think it's particularly weird that these are like literally the evil baddies of yesteryear, and now here they are coming to kiss the ring, and now we're supposed to pretend like nothing ever happened. They fall right back into the fold, and basically, essentially just feels like we're just falling back into where we were back in 2016, and literally the fell for it again meme is materializing in real life. All of the pieces are being put into place. I mean, this is kind of a continuous non-stop falling for it again. It's almost like this boom-bust cycle of falling for it, and then again, and again, and again. It's kind of these like little mini ones, and you have like big crack-ups every now and then. That's kind of what this feels like. This really feels like we're getting lulled into a big one. And I say we, I mean, I guess maybe the boomers are still on this Trump train. But unfortunately, we're kind of all being dragged along for the ride. And the best we can do is say, I don't like this ride. And hopefully maybe the person running the ride might take our word for it. Or not take our word for it, but listen to us, listen to our pleas for help. But unfortunately, they're probably being paid by Netanyahu because they're on film fucking kids or something. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get off this ride, people. But either way, at the very least, we should be aware this ride fucking sucks. And it's not going anywhere good. I don't think this is going good. This just feels weird to me. I don't have a fully formed conspiracy layout of where this goes, but it doesn't feel right. Let's go ahead and just watch these. This is Zuckerberg. I haven't watched these, so this will be interesting to watch. Here's Zuckerberg talking about he's going to be investing $600 billion in the U.S. in the next 3 years.
Well, thanks for hosting us. I mean, this is quite a group to get together, and I think all of the companies here are making huge investments in the country in order to build out data centers and infrastructure to power the next wave of innovation. And so it's, we don't often get together as the CEOs of the different companies, but it's good to see everyone.
How much?
He did nothing wrong, but I just want to hate him. Like, I mean, he obviously did do things wrong, but like from the past. But I mean, like literally, I could not know this guy. Like, what I'm trying to express is I could not know this person and just see this statement in isolation and just be like, just him say that. And be like, I don't fucking like you. I don't fucking like you. You suck. He's just one of those dorks. Just like, I don't fucking like you. I mean, he obviously has done evil stuff that, like, we have reason for it. But he's the kind of person I would dislike for no real reason. Just being around him, you're like, you suck. Let's keep going.
Are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh. What a weird dork fag.
Probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion through 28 in the U.S. Yeah.
It's a lot.
No, it's significant.
That's a lot. Thank you, Mark. It's great.
Thank you, Mark. Then we also got, I mean, there was a bunch of people here. We're only going to go through a few. But we also got, dang it, sorry. Had a little something. Then we got Apple CEO Tim Cook. Let's see what he's got to say. Of course, it's not. Of course, it's acting up now. Give me a second. Literally, I played one video, swapped over a tab, and it's glitching up. Give me a second. Let me fix it. Stupid fucking. God damn it! I fucking hate StreamYard so much. Fucking hate you, StreamYard. Fuck you. All right, give me a second. Let me fix it. There we go. Now let's play it. Embarrassing. And of course, I don't have it up. Here we go.
Little company called Apple.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Very, very few people have been able to do what you've done. Congratulations. Please.
Thank you, sir. That means a lot to me. I want to thank you for including me this evening. It's incredible to be among everyone here, particularly you and the First Lady. I've always enjoyed having dinner and interacting. I want to thank you for setting the tone such that we could make a major investment in the United States and have some key manufacturing, advanced manufacturing here. I think that says a lot about your focus and your leadership and your focus on innovation. I also want to thank you for helping American companies around the world. This is a very key thing, and I really enjoy working with your administration on those topics as well, because I think they're so important to the country. I want to thank the First Lady for focusing on education. There's nothing more important than education. It is the great equalizer and always will be. And so thank you so much for including me. We are all different in some ways, but we all believe in the power of technology to improve people's lives, and that is the thing that binds us all together.
And Tim, how much money will Apple be investing in the United States? Because I know it's a very lot, and it's, you were elsewhere, and now you're really coming home in a big way. How much money will you be investing?
$600 billion.
$600 billion. All right. It's a lot.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, I mean, another one of these tech guys frustrating himself. Now here's the one that's a little bit more concerning, and obviously these tech guys are concerning for their own reasons as well. But here is Bill Gates. This one, this should tighten your butthole up for sure.
Well, I'm in the second phase of my career, giving away all the wonderful money that Satya's good work has helped multiply a lot. But I think the thing that ties my first career that I still spend some time on because AI is so phenomenal, and my second career is innovation, innovating in health in areas like vaccines or gene editing. And the President and I are talking about taking American innovation to the next level to cure and even eradicate some of these diseases. He mentioned polio, which is one that we're close. We don't need new science on that one. For some like HIV and sickle cell, we do need new science, but the U.S. Has the seeds that in the same way that Warp Speed took those seeds and put them together, I think something fantastic can be done. AI for our foundation is that we want a doctor for everyone in Africa through AI. We want farmers to have incredible advice and kids to have a chance to learn. So the work being done by the people at this table is changing the world. It's coming fast, so it's great. We all get together and talk about how the U.S. can lead in this key area and apply it even to the poorest outside the U.S. as well as to our great citizens. So thank you for incredible leadership, including getting this group together.
All right, yeah, that's Bill Gates. Obviously, that's concerning. Anytime he opens his mouth, give me a second. Sorry, let me bring up the last little video on this rigmarole. I thought this one kind of is a perfect little way to kind of close this little bit out. Here's Zuckerberg on a hot mic. Let me make sure I got some video and audio. Here we go. I do. All right, let's go and play this.
How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh gosh. I think it's probably going to be something like, I don't know, at least $600 billion through 28 in the U.S. Yeah.
It's a lot.
No, it's not. It's significant.
That's a lot. Thank you, Mark. It's great to have you.
Sorry, I wasn't ready to do it.
For those who didn't catch it, it says, I'm sorry, I wasn't ready to do R, and this is inaudible.
He said I wasn't ready.
It says, I wasn't sure what number you want to go with. Which I don't know. I guess to be fair, like that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad or whatever. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like, hey, I don't even know what number you want me to say here. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look great, but it is funny. I'll give it that. It is pretty fucking hilarious. Yeah, let's I guess roll through the chat. Oh, I did one thing I did want to mention. We will probably cover tomorrow because I had a second contender for like my opening video that I usually do. We have a Trump getting super mega boomer vaccine based pilled on the vaccines. I need to come up with a better term for that, but I don't know. It's this weird boomerish vibe of like when your boomer friend gets based on something, and particularly vaccines. It's that vibe. He put out some shit like that, but yet at the same time, we have this like schizophrenic administration talking with Bill Gates about vaccines and stuff all over again. A little freaky. But then at the same time, he's weirdly being somehow sort of positioning himself between RFK himself and other things as being mega based on vaccines. So I don't know what to make of it. We'll probably get into some of that tomorrow. Obviously, this hot mic moment's pretty goddamn funny. But yeah, all right, let's roll through the chat, see what you guys say, and then we'll get out of here. I got a nice little outro for you guys. It's fucking adorable. Let's see what you guys got to say in the chat, and then we'll get out of here. I'll catch you all tomorrow. And tonight we have Already Dead. And oh, by the way, tonight I'm pretty sure we should be starting. We have our own 1-800 number. It's like 1-800-something-something-dead. We have our own 1-800 number that you'll be able to call into, I think, tonight. So you can call in, say your little, whatever thing you have to tell us, and then we move on to the next caller. Patrons will still get the video call option. You also get access to the pre-show and the post-show and the private chat, all that. So you still get those perks as a patron. But now the pollers, you can just call in and hang out with us. I'm really looking forward to it. Having an actual like call line, like a legit call line. Big shout out to Jacob, our producer, for setting that up. Thank you. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the direction of Already Dead. But yeah, pop in with us tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Looking forward to hang out with all y'all there. But let's roll the chat before we get out of here. What else you guys got? Nevsky saying Trump's making the tech oligarchs bend the knee. It does sure kind of feel that way. I just feel like it's a little bit of a sketchy game. Yeah, so it seems like Trump told Zuck how much to invest. Yeah, so I mean, it's like, I guess maybe he did. It's also like when he says, oh, how much are you going to invest in it? It's kind of this weird, like, what does that even mean? Do you mean like, it's such an odd number? So that's probably why he's like, what fucking number do you want here? Because to some extent, that's like one of those lying with statistics things. If you're like, ooh, we're going to fucking, we're going to invest this money into the United States. You're like, okay, how do we count the money that's invested? You mean any money you use in the United States? I mean, I know you can kind of get into a ridiculous territory here with it. So it really just depends on how you're defining it. So yeah, I don't know. My point being, it's not necessarily he's lying. It might just be kind of like, what number are you wanting here? Okay, sure. I guess we'll go with 6. Like, it's not necessarily a lie, as opposed to it's like I don't know. I guess you get what I'm saying. I guess it's kind of like it is one of those almost unknowable statistics. How do you really even fucking know like how much I'm putting into the United States? I put all my money into the United States technically. So yeah. What else we got? Trump mog the crap out of those dorks. It does. There's a little bit of that. Yeah. So it does. I'm torn on this. I don't know what to make it. It just feels like we're getting set up for a big old fall for it again. That's what it feels like. Let me see. Is it wrong to pray for Bill Gates' demise? Says Eris Legacy. No, that's normal. Nevsky says Melania's pissed that Gates is that close to her. Perhaps he is. You didn't miss much, Junkie Jeff. You go back and watch it. All right. Well, I think we might be at the end. I think it's looking like oh, here we go. Junkie Jeff says, I've got a good idea for a guest. When you need one, get True Stream Media on to promote their new movie, Liminality. I'm not against it. I'm not necessarily for it. You can tag me in some stuff or something because I know nothing about these people. So I don't know. You'll have to bring that info to me. But yeah. All right, guys. Let's go. Let's what am I doing here? What am I brain fart right now? Oh, well, let me let you guys know the ways you can support the show. Then we'll play our outro and we'll get out of here. I'll catch you guys tonight. See you all tomorrow on the morning show. But for those who want to support the show, and if you don't have any money and you really want to support in the best way you really can, there's a number of ways you can. As I told you guys earlier, you can just tag me and stuff on social media to keep me aware of what stories are going on, what things you guys find interesting and important. Because, I mean, we're probably going to have a lot of overlap there, considering as you watch the show, and the show is curated mostly by me. So we probably have similar interests. So tag me and shit. If you like it, I probably like it. But there's other ways you can help the show other than just that. You also, the place to do that, the best place is at Tower Gang Jose on Twitter. But other ways you can support the show, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. If you want to support the show really in the best way you absolutely can, that is with money. But I get it if you can't. I mean, I'm not upset about it. But it's as low as $2 a month, and I hope that you guys feel that you get that value just implicitly just by watching this show. You go, hey, this is $2 a month at least of value. But hey, at the very least, I try to give you extra value just for being a supporter. And some of those things are things like early episodes. I do like 1 to 2 episodes a week. Try to keep about 4 behind the paywall at any given time. So it's usually about weeks of paywall content at any given moment. You also give you access to the ad-free RSS feed. Also give you access to the Telegram supporters Telegram, and give you priority. Actually, not priority. Now you get exclusive access to the pre-show and the post-show, and the video calls, and the private chat for Already Dead, which is on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. That's your favorite parapolitical call-in show. So join us there. We'll have a call-in number for the poors to hang out with us. We're going to me and Austin are going to make a reinvigorated effort to pursue guests and stuff and make the show everything it should be, because we're really, really working to make this a good show for this year. But that's all the different things I provide over there. At the highest levels, my sponsors, I give them a big shout out every episode. Once again, that's patreon.com/NoWayJose20. And those sponsors are people much like my previous co-host on Tower Gang, at LearnToToad, also at AbrogateDs, at ZOVRECK, at _Invisiel, Tim Tuttle, at John Klebel, Will Bell's Delicious Blueberry Rhode Island Wine, big fan of the show, Torrin May, at Wayne Taculus, The Catcher in the Rye, and Andrew Jacobs, a completely involuntary Jew. I appreciate all of you guys' support. Help me out with that. Enjoy this outro, and I will see you guys all tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Already Dead. And of course, StreamYard is glitching, so give me 1 moment while I bring it up. There we go. It's back again. Let's make sure StreamYard is not glitching now. Now it's not. Let's say bye Marna Mac. Bye everybody. Gerald says I give at least $2 of value. Hell yeah, brother. So, yeah, and someone says, Shah, you asked, is there another place to post links besides Twitter? Rumble works well. YouTube does not work well in the live chat if you want to post links. Or are you talking about, like, to share stuff? Well, if you're a supporter, which I think you are, you should have access to Telegram. Hit up me or Austin. We should be able to send you a link if you don't. And then you can drop stuff in there. I do refer to the Telegram sometimes. So, so see everybody. Bye-bye. Enjoy this outro. And Nevsky, this is the one you sent. Thank you. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to say deuces.